Hello friends TV Agro, excellent day, really it is a blessing to be with you right now. Thank you for being connected here with us. We know that right now we are in a time where it is 100% virtuality. But we want today is to get closer to your home, of your family. Soon you are working. You are center sharing with a friend this video. Here today we will simply give advice regarding responsible tenure, from when you acquire the pet until it is gone. But today we want to give a very interesting. Remembers my name is Fernando Pena, currently I am a writer and coordinated a veterinary clinic called Mateo's. You find us in our social networks, Mateo's Vet, or in Google put Mateo's Vet, of there you find us. If you want to write us here on our YouTube channel. I know you see us from many parts of the world, from the US. From many places, I send you a strong greeting. I send a greeting to those who have written to us, who have asked us questions. I send you a big hug and truly that we are very close to you to answer any concerns regarding those questions that arise from how to better have my fuzzy, my pet. Today we are going to see a very interesting topic and are the benefits of zootherapy. Have you heard about zootherapy? What will be zootherapy? Well, the benefits really are many regarding the subject, let's say, of an animal therapy. The zootherapy really is used professionally. There are many places in Europe, in Barcelona, in Australia, in many places we actually use the company of our little Harry to improve a pain, a medical history, a condition. Suddenly people who have had a history with the subject of diabetes. People who have had a history with the subject of cancer, people who suddenly live very lonely or to fight stress, anguish, and in this time of quarantine, in anxiety, then it is important to really take into account the benefits that brings, really the zootherapy. Animals have always been with us since the beginning of creation and have always had that role of protector of company, in addition to that of home, etc. There are many animals of our furry ones that help us in everything, and really the human being has realized that there are many of the benefits, not only external or suddenly of socializing, of socialization, but also of the medical part. There are people who have had very strong backgrounds, within which we can look at what those benefits are. Because there really are benefits within which having a pet. I don't know if at some point you saw a video of a person coming off drugs for having an interaction with a kitten, a US boy. Suddenly you've seen it on Facebook or you've seen it on YouTube, this video. A little while ago the kitten died. But the most beautiful thing is that he could have practically a therapy. Because he saw him as a friend, took him out of that drug situation. Then here within the benefits we see that having a pet on the subject of therapy or zootherapy increases self-esteem. It is important that people can have a self-esteem for the company and exercises. Because let's say when one is with an animal, combat sadness, feelings of loneliness, feelings of anguish. I have heard many cases. I have talked to people and they had some loving exception or some situation that led them to suddenly look for that Harry. Also by medical recommendation, people are looking for that company that can help them increase that self-esteem. Remember, first is to increase self-esteem, and above all, why? Because they reinforce the security in us. Let's say my dogs. When I come from afar they feel that I am coming, then they become joyful and there is an almost spiritual connection. Because they always figure out what time it came and they get 10 minutes 15 minutes before cheerful, they jump. And one of the benefits of having a puppy is the joy. It really raises that security that one needs, it fills up to have that Harry at your side. Then it is important and interact because it is said that after one interacts with a Harry, with an animal, suddenly, you have a kitten in your house, an affectionate dog, after interacting with him, caress him, play, an important part is the game, when you play you interact with your pet, that's when you can realize that something is activated, a tranquility hormone. Stroking a cat is seen when it begins to purr, a loving puppy when it licks you, they lick to please and the beautiful thing is that it activates that hormone of tranquility. That hormone which we call oxytocin has several functions of this hormone. Many of the scientists have tried to discover for what other functions this hormone has served and is to create a strong bond between the father and the mother, and is a hormone that fights stress and acts as an antidepressant. Then notice that it is very good to have an animal in the house, a pet, that you can interact. Lowers blood pressure levels. For many people who have high blood pressure, it serves them a lot. For example, a zootherapy. For example, there are people who have a fishbowl, live in that tranquility, see how the fish in the aquarium are moving, interacting, also releases that hormone of tranquility, then recommend many of the animals that can accompany us in our house. It is important that we take into account that helps to activate that hormone of that tranquility. The second aspect, if it is very interesting, and is to know that there are better interpersonal links, or a better association, is that association, and above all behaviors, you can say relationship with other people. That's where one realizes that temperament is innate. That is, we are not born with a temperament and that temperament somehow has strengths and weaknesses. There was a man named Hippocrates, he introduced psychiatry, medicine, and it is said that there were 4 people or different ways of interacting in people, and there is the blood, choleric, melancholic and phlegmatic. But here this very interesting topic, because it is the active is the blood, which has a legion of friends. The anger of the person who is suddenly stronger is more dominant. The melancholic is that he is a perfectionist. Suddenly he is the one who gives him melancholy, but it is something where one realizes that he was found according to the temperament. There was a color of bile, then the choleric had yellow bile, the melancholic black bile, the blood comes from the blood, which is very active, which has a legion of friends, which is influential, and phlegmatic, is a person who is calm, who is suddenly introverted, but here focused on children. They are perfect for this kind of therapies, mostly used for the topic of language, motor skills, the physical part, and we see that there are children who interact very well with dogs, with horses and other animals. There is another zootherapy that is done with dolphins. Suddenly you have seen on Netflix some movie that talks about people who have had or lost some limb in some accident, or have had a strong trauma that you have experienced. Perhaps also the loss of a loved one, for that zootherapy is used. Because zootherapy somehow brings out that end in which the person is immersed to another end that can activate it again and rehabilitate, as in that issue of association with other people. It is important the activities that are carried out in this second point of the links. It is more than the whole game, let's say that game of programmed activities, some better advances are achieved in a short time. Then the zootherapy can be used in many ways. It's good that suddenly, if you want to delve into this topic, write us if you have any questions regarding any topic we are dealing with. The third aspect of zootherapy is muscle and motor development. What we talked about above, we can develop physically, emotionally, have a healthy mind, and additionally being pet you can give it a purpose. That is to take it out, exercise, that is a win-win. Both benefit, and in addition to that is to know that treatments with dogs and horses are very important in the part of training. Many of our furries that are trained for that. This is why you see the guide dogs. The guide dogs are dogs trained to guide blind people, and these dogs logically have a training by a professional of the training. I know a friend who is called Junior Garcon. He sent him a greeting, has its training program, in all areas. You can find it as it is insigniacanina.com. Then you can count on my friend. He is excellent. It takes many years and I recommend them. If they need some therapy with some trained animal, or if they need to guess your animal, then it is important to develop this muscular and motor part. Then it is always important with the issue of motor physical rehabilitation. The fourth is mental activity. That there is a balance of mind. This helps a lot to the elderly, for degenerative diseases, or diseases of sudden cognitive. Because many times when you reach a certain age, many times you lose many things by memory. But a little hairy changes the environment to an older adult, or if suddenly you know that suddenly your heart is fractured, who can count on a pet to help you. The last is to suddenly facilitate that relaxation, that is a tranquility, like that emotional balance that we need as human beings. I have a friend who had many problems in the office. He called me, "Fernando, I need you to help me. The doctor recommended me to have a pet and I would like to have a kitten." We got a 1-year-old kitten, cross of Persian, a beautiful cat. Called her Frida. Imagine, she came home, she had a lot of stress from work and all this, and noticed that the kitten, when she already sat or lay down, she complained of pain, and the kitten was costing her legs. In the back, it purred. And that's where it is not given that cats absorb electromagnetic energies, and many times absorb them in situations, let's say in people's energies. She improved almost 70% of what she came. Friends of TV Agro, thank you for this time. God bless you. We will see you in a next broadcast, and until soon, blessings.